up everybody, this is Mike, and in today's video I will list the 5 things I don't like about the Mavic Air. Now I was going to title this video 5 things I hate about the Mavic Air, but I realized I really don't hate anything about this drone. As a matter of fact, it's my go-to drone. I love it, I use it as much as I can, but of course no product is really perfect and the Mavic Air is no exception. So there are things that I don't really like and things that bother me a bit, so I want to use that video as a point of discussion so I can get your opinion as well. So please feel free to voice your opinion in the comment section below and let me know what are the things you personally don't like in the Mavic Air. What do you want to see improved or removed or being added to that quadcopter? With that being said, I'm just going to give you the 5 things I don't like about this drone. So the first thing I don't like about the Mavic Air is the fact that we don't have a special button or a function to tilt the gimbal completely up or completely down. We have a function that can center the gimbal in the middle of the viewfinder, but we don't have that function to go completely up or completely down. I know this is a first world problem, but I use the Gimbal Tilt a lot and I've set the speed to slow so I can get very cinematic and slow, buttery smooth tilts of the gimbal. So every time I need to go completely up or completely down, it takes a lot of time to do that. And I actually use the gimbal center function just to save a bit of time, but I still have to go completely down or completely up, and it takes time that could be used for something better like flying and capturing cool stuff. So that's something that I would like to see added to the Mavic Air. The second thing that I don't like about the Mavic Air is that it's really noisy. The propellers are really noisy, and especially if you're flying low to the ground, capturing some nice low flying shots, which are one of my favorite types of shots, you're turning a lot of heads and many people are getting annoyed looking at you like, what are you doing? And I don't really like that. I prefer to have a drone that is a bit more low-key and not getting a lot of attention, so I can fly everywhere and not get those types of looks from people around me. Personally, I would like to see a quiet propellers, something like the ones that we have seen in the Mavic Pro Platinum. I know that the propulsion system is different in the Mavic Air, so probably quiet propellers are not possible at this point. But anyway, I'm sure DJI can figure out a way to make this drone just a bit more quiet and a bit more low-key. My gripe number 3 is the fact that you cannot charge the Mavic Air with the USB-C port on the back of the drone. This is something that we've seen in the DJI Spark, so I was hoping to see that same feature being added to the Air as well, but unfortunately you can only use that port to transfer your photos and videos directly to your computer. So if you have a large power bank and you are on the go and you would like to charge your drone when switching locations, unfortunately you can't do that. And that's something that I'm really missing in this drone. It could be a lifesaver in some situations, so hopefully we can see that in the future in the Mavic Air 2, but for now we have to stick to our battery hubs and chargers. Number 4 of the things that I don't like about the Mavic Air is the fact that we don't have a wheel on the remote controller to change the exposure value and the shutter speed. This is something that we have in the regular Mavic Pro's controller and we are missing from this controller. So unfortunately, if you're flying in manual mode, which is something that I personally am trying to do a lot lately to improve my overall footage and give you guys better cinematic photos and videos to look at, if you do that, you have to change those values, the exposure and the shutter speed, quite a lot, and especially if you're using filters, even more. So being able to quickly configure those settings and change them on the go is much easier if you have the option to do that from the remote controller itself. So the fact that we don't get that in the Mavic Air just makes everything a bit slower. The whole process of setting up the perfect settings for your footage takes just a bit longer than it's supposed to. And combine that with the less amount of flight time that we get in the Mavic Air compared to the Mavic Pro, and we are basically using more time to configure the drone and less time to actually fly it and enjoy the final footage. So that's something that I'm definitely missing in the Mavic Air, and I really want to see that happen. The last thing that I have a problem with when it comes to the Mavic Air is the fact that it uses a Wi-Fi transmission system instead of OcuSync or Lightbridge. Now, don't get me wrong, I always try to fly within my line of sight, and I prefer to see my drone when flying so I can be safer and of course obey the rules, but just in case you're flying in a Wi-Fi dense area or an urban area or something, you need to have a rock solid signal, and that's really not the case with the Wi-Fi transmission system. I would definitely like to see a more solid system that can just grant us more freedom when flying in different locations, so we can always rely on strong signal and no interference. So those are the things that I don't like about the Mavic Air. Of course, none of these problems is a deal breaker for me. I personally love this drone, so I'm going to continue fly with it, and I'm going to use it as much as I can because I really like the overall experience with the Mavic Air that I'm getting until now. So probably until the Mavic Pro 2 is released, I'm going to continue to fly with it as much as I can. However, I still think it's important to focus on those negative aspects of the products that we're using a lot, because that way we can get the manufacturer's attention, we can get them make those changes, make them improve that product in the future, and overall give us a better flying experience in the future. That being said, guys, this is everything that I have for you today. Please let me know in the comment section below what are the things that you don't like about the Mavic Air, and I would love to discuss them with you. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take it easy, guys.